TitleMatchNetwork.com.
I don't know. Something happened with Rick and Randy and Madison or Saturday Night Main Event in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Vince wanted something specific done, and Rick made it up as he went along in the ring or something. They changed it. They came back and Vince flipped and made him go out and do the whole match over again.
Right.
But somewhere out of that, Vince seemed to lose his confidence in Rick. I don't know what happened there. All I know is that I showed up in Saskatoon. I heard it talk to me. They talked to me about it a little bit in Winnipeg a couple of weeks before I won the title. I went over to Europe from Winnipeg. We did the TV tapings up in Canada here. But I know one of the agents pulled me aside and said they're talking about putting the belt on. They got 4 names on a piece of paper. One was Backlund, funny enough. One was Savage.
Right.
One was me and somebody else. He goes, I think they're going to put the belt on you. He goes, it's just a feeling. But I blew it off. I didn't think it could ever happen. And we went over to Europe where I worked with Flair every night, had unbelievable matches with Flair in Europe. Came back within a couple of days of that. They had me fly out to Saskatoon. And I think that's one of the big things that was a part of my success of being the champion. Or at least not success, but the reason I got it. I think I won it. I found out the morning of and won it that night. A lot of guys, it's like, okay, you're going to win the belt in, the Royal Rumble, and it's like 3 months earlier. There was no time to shoot me down. People that stab me in the back and say I'm a shitty worker, or you can't draw money, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. It's like I just walked in one day and was world champion that night, and it was very sudden. My understanding of Flair was totally fine with it. Never had any problem with it. Always was really respectful of me. I had some problems with Rick in the ring. Sometimes I don't know if they were intentional. I remember Rick did come up to me at one time and said that he was having a lot of problems, and that he apologized for not giving me the matches that he knew that we could have. So I think that sort of substantiates what I was feeling a little bit. Like
I remember reading in sheets you would say that Rick was overrated and stuff.
Well, I think sometimes that he was, but I also think he had a lot of other. He was from a different era, slightly, and there was a different train of thought that went into his being champion than went into mine. Rick was a guy that worked really, 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 really hard. Maybe the most fit wrestler that I ever worked with. Never got tired. He could wrestle. Flair could wrestle 12 hours. I never get tired. But I used to always refer sometimes to Rick as 30 minutes of nonstop non-psychology.
Right.
And Randy Savage used to get a laugh out of it because it was it was almost like kidding, but it was true. You never knew what you were going to do. Sometimes he throw you right in the middle of like working your leg. He throw you the turnbuckle and you just did stuff like, geez, I'm supposed to be selling my leg. Sometimes right when we had him built up like an orchestra, you can feel it when it's like built just perfect, and then we'd lose it all and do something else. Like we'd switch, and all of a sudden I'd be working his arm or something. I think maybe it's just a different way of looking at the business. But I started to sense like whenever Rick just did whatever came into his mind a second before he did it. I think he still works like that. There's not necessarily anything wrong with it, just different. I kind of respect Rick a little differently since then. But at that time, I just wanted to always have a different. I didn't want people to be able to figure out what you were going to do next all the time, and it got to be a little bit like a routine with Rick. But Rick was. If you want to watch somebody that could work, like you watch Rick work somebody's leg or work in your leg.
Right.
He was always safe. He was always a total professional in there. And if you want to know how to put a figure four, and you watch Ric Flair. If you want to watch somebody work an arm, you watch Ric Flair. Everything he did was really solid and safe and believable, incredible. It was a great champion. There was nothing else,
right? Right. And then I guess it was later on you won the King of the Ring tournament in '93. And
yeah, I won the title. Went through the whole thing with. Well, a lot of stuff happened in between that.
Right.
Well, even before that, you're talking. I won the title. I worked with Shawn in the Survivor Series. I worked with Razor Ramon and the Royal Rumble when he was still really green, and a lot of guys didn't. You know, he wasn't a guy you could put all your faith in as far as work wise. You know, he was limited a little bit. He was becoming a good worker, and I think in time, Razor was a great worker. He always was disappointed with the match that he had with me in the Rumble because I called everything, and I had no choice to call anything because I didn't call everything because I didn't know what kind of worker he was yet. We hadn't had enough matches, and he was still really green. But the match was pretty good. The Rumble. I was trying really hard to give it like that epic, best match of the card kind of thing. And it's not easy with a guy like, it wasn't easy with Scott Hall at that time. And he just wasn't as good as he was going to become.
What's your opinion of him now, as far as, are you shocked he still has a job with WCW after everything that's happened?
Nah, nothing in wrestling shocks me much anymore. I don't mind Scott. I kind of feel sorry for him sometimes because there's a part of me that goes, he's a really good guy inside, and there's another part of me that goes, he's really messed up inside. Like it's almost like a bad kid or something. It's like I've been around Scott where he purposely interrupts the conversation all the time so that he can't finish the sentence to the point you just get up and leave. It's like, and it's kind of, when you're around him in the right, it's just him and you kind of thing. He's a good guy.
Right.
I think it's more of I have sort of like a sadness for him. I hope that he's kind of sorts himself out. I think he's capable of, he's not a stupid guy. He's just a fairly intelligent guy with, just the business does things to you.